make a jumping game. So this is a duck. It's going to jump over the eggs, and once it jumps over the eggs, our score increases by 1. And when the duck bumps into the egg, the game is over. Let me show you how it works. And the game is over. To make this game, we are going to divide our steps into 5 parts. The very first one, we'll choose a character and make it jump. The second thing is we're going to make a moving obstacle like this egg over here. The third part would be we're going to stop the game if ducks runs into this egg. The fourth part will be we'll add another obstacle like these 2 eggs over here. And the fifth part will be we'll keep a score of how many eggs did the duck jumped over. So let's begin. So to pick a background, I went to this background and I picked a farm. Then I picked my sprite as the duck. So I went to sprite and I looked here and I pulled a duck from here, and then I started coding. So if you look here, the very first thing that I do is I initialize the position of duck. By initialization, I mean the place where duck has to always start from. So here, if you drag the duck over here, the motion in the motion, the go to X and Y position changes. So if I'm going to move duck over here, the go to X and go to Y position changes. So I want my duck to start at minus 186 and 100 minus 114. So I place my duck, and as soon as I place it here, I get a position here, then I pull the position over here. Then what I do is I want the duck to move up and down. So basically, this is the y-axis or the vertical axis. I want the duck to go up and the duck to go down. So I change the y-axis by 10. So if you see here, there's change y by 10. So I include this and then I repeat it 10 times. Similarly, I want duck to go down. So I choose this and the duck goes down. So let me just remove this portion over here and show you how it's going to work. So I'm pressing the arrow key. So my event here is when arrow key is placed. So I pick this and pull this over here, and it says when up arrows pressed. So I pulled it over here, and now when I'm pressing the up arrow, duck is going up and down. You can ignore the score for now. This is the code basically for the duck to go up and down. Now the second part is to make the egg glide. So I went again in the sprite and I pulled out an egg and I placed it over here. Again, I want the egg to start from the rightmost corner and glide over to the leftmost corner. So I take this over here. As soon as I put it over here, in the motion, I get a X and Y position. So here I have pulled the X and Y position for this egg as minus 183 and minus 160. And then I go to X 183 and minus 160, basically to this location on the end. And the way I do it is I select this one, glide, and since 1 second would be too much, it will be too fast. That's why I'm making it glide for 2 seconds. So it will be a little slower and we can see the egg properly. So this is how the gliding would work. Here we have another obstacle. Let me remove this obstacle for now. I'll show you back again. So this is egg 1 and egg 1 will move from one end of the screen to another end of the screen. It's going to glide like this. Now, our third part was whenever the egg touches the duck, our game should stop. So, when the green flag is clicked, wait until, we are going to use this control, wait until control, and then we are going to use a sensing. So in sensing, we choose when the egg is touching the duck, then stop all, stop the game, stop everything. So this is for egg number 1. I'll stop this for now and move on to egg number 2. For egg number 2, again, I can use the same code as egg number 1, but what happens is if I don't use this hide and show and I start the egg from the same position, egg number 2 stays there. So while 1 is sliding, this egg shows there and it doesn't look neat. So what I do is, when in the beginning, I'll hide the egg 1, and once it is waited for 1 second, I'm making it a timing difference between the two so that one can pass easily and the another egg starts later. So when one has passed, the second egg shows up, and then glide 2 seconds to the leftmost position. So in order to do this, it's simple. Like if you want to create multiple obstacle of same thing, you can use this duplicate over here and create another egg. Put this egg over here and repeat the same code. I just want 2 eggs for now, so I'm going to delete the third egg. Now, the same code applies here. When this egg number 2 is touching this duck, stop the game. So the game would stop. After this, I also want to add the score section. So to add the score section, I go to variables and I make a variable. If you click here, it will show you a variable name. So I created this variable called score. And once the score was created, I went to the duck sprite. And every time the duck jumps over an egg, I'm going to change my variable score. So I use this change variable and I use the drop down to get score. So I changed my score by 1. And because when the game ends, I want to make sure my duck is at a certain position and my score is reset to 0, I use this code over here. So I place my duck at -186 and -114, and my score to, I initialize my score to 0. Initialization is when your code starts fresh. What score do you want to set? So I want to set it as 0. Once this is done, you're ready to go. Let's see. So now I'm going to press the green and jump over the eggs. Thank you so much for listening.